Hello! Today we're making lasagna with meat sauce. So, as you can see, I wore a festive shirt for the occasion that says gnocchi on it. We also have a wonderful antipasto tray that Douglas made us. And we're playing Italian music, so it feels like we're in Italy. Okay, so we're starting by peeling the garlic cloves, and we're gonna chop them, because then you're gonna pan fry them with the onion. So it's, well, we're going. Here's our fully peeled garlic cloves that we're now going to chop.
And they will be chopped in pieces, okay.
Yes. Okay, so we're cutting the ugly little ends off. So then it's nice, clean little garlic cloves. Okay, so in a pot for your sauce, you're gonna start by adding oil. Midge, tell me when to stop.
Okay. See, this is a big pot.
Is this good? Keep going.
That's it.
Okay.
That's enough.
Then you're going to add your garlic cloves, which we're about to clove.
Why did you just sharpen?
We're gonna just... There we go. Okay, there's one.
One.
Okay. Now we're gonna put another one.
Take that out. There's skin in there probably. Is there?
No.
No. Okay, you put your... Oh, here it is. Here, see?
There. Oh, okay.
Take that skin out.
Okay. Douglas, why can't I get this one to go through? I got this big clove of garlic now. Look at that.
Get it off. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, and one more, I think that'll do it.
Okay, just FYI, we're kind of doubling the recipe, so because we have a bigger pan and a bigger pot. So we're putting more oil in. Is this good, Midge?
More.
More.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right. Now you have to put in your... No more garlic. Don't say she's putting all that garlic in. Nobody will die.
Garlic. Okay, so the standard size pan that you're supposed to be using is a 9 by 13, but we are using a 12 by 14 and a half.
No, don't say that. Don't go by. Look for it.
Midge, we're telling them that that's why we're doubling the recipe.
Nice.
Okay, now we're browning the garlic and we're also gonna add onions. You're supposed to use half of an onion. So we're just gonna, we already cut these bad boys up, so we're gonna add them.
Okay, that's
Good.
enough. That's enough. Okay.
Say what you just said about the onion.
A half of a small onion chopped.
Emphasis on the small part because apparently we're
onion
with the
chopped.
onion. You need to cook this until it is slightly brown.
Okay, now get your meat ready.
The prosciutto is good. Okay, while she's cooking that, I'm taking out the ground beef for the meat sauce recipe because she wants us to put it in a bowl and then we're gonna crumple it so it gets smaller and more broken up. I should do it with this. We're gonna use 1 1/2.
Yeah, 1 1/2.
Oh, that is delightful.
We're not following the recipe now.
Okay, let's just see
Don't
this
tell me.
crumpling it. Before we have to put it in the meat sauce, she said break it up into little pieces. To specify, we are crumbling 1.5 pounds of ground beef. 1.5 pounds. Okay, I'm gonna start adding it to the... Okay, Midge, you wanna start?
It has nothing to do with the recipe.
Shh.
They're gonna be confused.
They don't need to know that. Okay, ready? Okay, can I start just shoving it in?
Yeah. Well, you're gonna do that too with a fork.
Okay.
You could just throw the whole thing in, Paige.
You just told me to crumble it.
Yeah, well, you have to crumble it. Yeah, crumble.
Well, you're telling me to throw the whole thing in there, and then you're saying crumble it.
Okay.
Okay, we're adding salt. Tell me when to stop. Is that good?
A little more. Okay, good.
Now I'm stirring it up.
I used to,
You want me to stir?
yeah.
So we're using a fork to kind of like mash it up a little bit more so it gets more broken up for the meat sauce.
Good job.
Well, I don't feel like it's really mashing it. So this is our little secret. Midge does not want to share it with everyone. You're gonna take your cans of tomatoes And you're gonna pour it in the blender. And try not to make a mess here.
Mm-hmm.
We're using a 28-ounce can, and it's make sure that it's crushed tomatoes with basil. Okay. So now we're pouring this one into the blender too. Be careful because it splashes a little bit. There's tomatoes in my eye. Okay, so we're only gonna blend it really quickly for a few seconds. So. It's my mouth. So we're adding the blended crushed tomatoes with basil into our pan for our sauce with the meat, garlic, and onions. Paige is helping me out here a little bit.
All right, now you're gonna do the other can.
Okay.
Okay, now put it in here and then say.
Okay, then we're also adding, you gotta add, she refills the can like with a half a cup of water and we add it as well.
Okay, see, it's getting a.
Okay, so since we're using a bigger pan, we're making a bigger recipe, like we're doubling the recipe. We are putting in another can of the blended and crushed tomatoes with basil. Okay, just to clarify, we're not actually doubling the recipe, but we are adding a little bit more than what the recipe says. So for future note, because of the pan size and everything, so we just added the other cup. So it's 3 cups of the crushed tomatoes. Now we're adding another half a cup of water. So altogether, it's 1 cup of water. To clarify, 3 cans of the crushed tomatoes with basils blended, plus 1 can of water, and that is what we're using. Don't listen to me when I said cup.
Wrong. Can and another half a can of water.
Okay.
Oh, but wait, you used 3 cans. No, don't.
Another half a can of water she just poured in.
Yeah, okay. Perfect, Paige.
So now it's 1.5 cans of water. She's still going.
That's it.
Okay, so now we're gonna add some salt and spices and cheese to the sauce. So right now I'm just gonna kind of pour in some salt. Do we think that's good?
Mm-hmm.
She's not even looking.
Okay.
Okay. Basil. Do you think that's good enough? No. We probably need a little
Very
more.
good, Paige.
It is a big pot of sauce. Okay, now parsley. Okay. Cheese
And
now.
the cheese, and then that's it.
Okay. How much cheese are we thinking?
Use your own judgment. Let's see, Paige. I think that's enough, because you're going to put cheese on the lasagna. That's fine. That's fine.
We'll do a little more. There's a big
No,
chunk
don't
of
put
cheese.
any more. No. No.
I'm just not a fan of it.
I don't know if I want to eat your lasagna.
Oh. Okay, then after you obviously put it all in there, we're going to stir it up. So we added more cheese.
No.
Because the actual sauce recipe is supposed to be 1/4 of a cup, and we did not do that. So now I'm stirring. Okay, so while we're making the ricotta cheese mixture for lasagna, you're gonna let your sauce sit and simmer for at least an hour. Stir it periodically. Okay, Douglas found this hack. To get the water, you're supposed to drain your ricotta because you know it's a little watery, a little soggy. So what you do is you put it in a strainer, obviously. He's got paper towels. And then you put a weighted object on it. He took saran wrap, put the plate over it to get all the water out. So then it's not as soggy and gross before we use the, he also put the crushed tomato cans on top too. Okay, so since this has been draining, we're kind of gonna transport it. Oh, that's lovely sounding. Okay, so now we're gonna make the cheese mixture. You need around 2 pounds of ricotta. This is the one that's drained into the proper bowl now. Now we're also going to add parsley. Midge, tell me when to stop because it doesn't specify how much parsley.
Just whatever you want. Yeah.
Is that good enough?
A little more, because you got more ricotta.
Okay.
A little more. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We also need salt and pepper.
Mm-hmm. Fine. Because we're going to have have a sauce.
Okay. I don't want to smell the pepper.
If this lasagna comes out, it's going to be a
Okay.
miracle.
Is this, how much pepper? Is this good?
Oh, too much. That's enough.
I barely even did any.
Yeah, that's okay. You don't want much pepper.
Okay, then we also need, I already measured it out, the 3/4 of Pecorino Romano. You're going to put this in there too. Then you're also going to put in 2 eggs. Okay, I'm going to start mixing it. Ooh, this is a thick one.
Oh, that's a lot of ricotta.
I know. Okay, this is a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be because there's a lot of ricotta cheese in there. Okay, so we let the water come to a boil. We added salt and a little bit of the oil. Midge showed us that trick. Now, these are the uncooked lasagna noodles that we're going to obviously add to the boiling water. We're going to use 2 boxes. The recipe only calls for 1 box because it's a pound, correct? So put in these noodles. So now we're going to lightly butter the pan before we're putting the lasagna in. So we're kind of just going around. So should have done this.
That's enough.
I didn't even get the sides yet.
Okay, your water's boiling. Now you lower this.
She's really worried about the boiling. Midge, it's not going over about the boiling water. I want to make sure that I get the sides of this. So this has been cooking for an hour. This is done. Douglas had a little meatballs. We didn't make those. Those aren't homemade today. Then, after we go to the pan, we're going to start by layering the sauce on the bottom of the buttered pan. So we're going to do this.
See, we didn't even need the ground beef. I didn't know we had meatballs.
Well, that's okay. We want meat sauce.
The lasagnas have to be layered into the pan, lengthwise. Okay. I feel like I'm in Italy.
You're doing a good job, Midge.
Okay, all right. Now,
Okay,
sauce.
now we put more sauce. She's singing. Midge, while we're doing this, do you know any Italian words? Tell them some Italian.
Some words.
Okay, tell the camera.
It's in Italian.
Yeah, I know. So tell them. Give them an Italian lesson. She's not understanding me. Tell, what is ugly face in Italian?
Okay, that's the first layer. The ricotta in dollops across the pan.
Make sure it's in
And then
dollops.
start spreading it.
Then you start spreading it.
Mamma mia, mighty daddy.
She's a really good
God bless
singer.
America.
Now we're adding mozzarella cheese, but we're just dispersing it slightly throughout. Okay, so now we're continuing with this layering. We put the cheese on, now you put more sauce on top before you put on more noodles. Before we layer the next thing of noodles, we're also adding some Pecorino Romano cheese.
That's enough.
I barely put any on.
I would put more sauce on if you.
You said it was good.
Let's see.
So right now we're adding another layer of the noodles. Okay, another layer of sauce. I'm trying to not do that much though, because we don't want to over sauce it right now. So
Well, thank God you got a lot of sauce.
yeah, I know, but we just said how we don't want to over sauce it. Layering another thing of the ricotta cheese. Last time it was easier if I just did it with my fingers. So I'm trying to spread it out more. So we added all the cheese. We added mozzarella too on top. Now we're putting another layer of the noodles. Okay, now we're adding another layer of the sauce. We're trying not to make it too saucy though. So now we're finishing off with the final layer of some mozzarella. No, you cover it, and Midge said after it's covered, when it's in the oven, you leave it on for a certain amount of minutes, and then after that is when you take it off. And you're gonna put it in the oven at 350 degrees, and we are gonna bake it for 45 minutes. But after 15 minutes is when we are going to remove the foil. So here we go. Because it's been 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're taking off.
Ooh, look at
Oh,
that.
voila.
Aha.
And you
Now
keep
how
it in there
long,
for
Doc?
another 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Now, we took it out of the oven, you let it sit and stand for 15 to 30 minutes. So as it's cooling, we made garlic bread. We're dipping it in the sauce and we're eating it.
That's an Italian thing, Paige.
Mm-hmm. It's good.